This is a Tascam DR-10C. It's not a new product, but having only recently purchased it, I've been so impressed that I thought a video was in order. It's a tiny, lightweight audio recording system designed to complement a radio mic, but with many other uses, as I've been finding. Powered by a single AAA battery, it records continuously for around 10 hours, a claim I verified twice. It has a 3.5mm mic input jack with a locking thread if you have a suitable mic. But what's interesting is that it then has a 3.5mm output jack. The idea is that you put the Tascam between the lavalier microphone and your radio mic transmitter. Yes, this means someone now has to wear two packs, but the upside is that if there's any dropout or problem with interference on the radio mic, you still have a separate backup recording on the Tascam made prior to the radio system. Indeed, if you don't need real-time monitoring or the radio mic at all, you can just use the Tascam and sync the audio up later. This makes for a really compact system for the person wearing it, ideal for things like weddings and such like. There's a tiny but surprisingly readable screen which indicates whether the unit is recording and gives audio levels, although annoyingly it only shows the levels in standby, not when recording, which always makes me nervous. I like to see the meters moving when the device is recording. Operation is very simple. Slide this recessed lever upwards, hold for a second and release, and the Tascam goes straight into record. Do the same to stop recording. Switching on and off is similar, but by sliding the lever down. Menus are operated, again very intuitively and easily, through 4 buttons. Essentially, you scroll through the menus, select the one you want, then scroll through the options before choosing which setting you want. The device has options to record a second track with a lower level in case of any unexpected peaks. Recording gain is set at just a limited number of values rather than fully variable, but I found them entirely satisfactory. In theory, the device is sold configured for specific lavalier microphones, such as those from Sennheiser, but you can also get versions for Sony/Ramsa. I don't have a Sennheiser lav, and instead plugged in the Rode lavalier, which worked absolutely fine. Do note, however, that when plugged into a radio mic pack, you must turn the mic bias setting off. Crucially, when you want to use the Tascam standalone, turn the mic bias on. This provides power to the mic. I lost a recording once when I disconnected the radio mic pack and forgot to alter this setting. Recording quality is excellent. Despite this less than optimal environment, this entire voiceover was recorded using the Rode lavalier plugged into the Tascam. Files can be 44.1 or 48 kHz, 16 or 24-bit, and they're recorded to a micro SD card. You can monitor on headphones and play files back, and you transfer files off the device through the micro USB connector. There are more uses for this than you might expect. As a sometime vlogger, I normally have a tiny little shotgun mic on my camcorder, which points forward to capture what I'm filming, but then when I'm giving a commentary from behind, really doesn't pick it up at all. And turning it around just to do the commentary and then turning it back around to film what I'm filming, well, that's just not practical. So what I've taken to doing is leaving the shotgun mic on the camcorder pointing forward, and I wear the Tascam with a lavalier mic and then record what I'm saying on this as well as picking up what I'm filming on the shotgun mic, and then I can just sync the two later, which is exactly what you'd normally do with a dual audio recording system anyway. The only trick is to remember to press record on this, but because it can go for, well, 8 to 10 hours on a single battery, sometimes I just press record on this at the start of the day and let it run. You do end up with massive files, of course, but there's no worry about not recording anything. I also used this for a 2-person interview recently, where the camcorder was set back from the subject, so a top mic would have been terrible, and I had no radio mic. Here's a quick sample. Notice that the Tascam and a lav mic is just clipped to the chair between the two interviewees. Given that location, the omnidirectional microphone and filming outdoors, I think it sounds remarkably good.
Well, we were at Alvcote Marina.
And it was a 1-week charter with a pair of friends on a 45-footer.
And I think in the first hour we thought, wow, this is awful slow. We were used to a sailboat that would go a little bit faster than that. So.
My friend Bobby looked at me, and in unison we both said, this is really boring.
In summary, I'm very pleased with the Tascam DR-10C. I bought it for a specific corporate job, but I've found many other uses for it since. Yes, it's not as cheap maybe, and possibly not as flexible as some other devices, for example the popular Zoom H1, but this is so well designed for its niche that if you are operating within that niche, you will find it money very definitely worth spending. A link to buy the Tascam is included in the description below, along with a link to the products page on the Tascam website. Note that in some countries a slightly different version is sold without the radio mic output, so it's just a standalone recorder. There's also a version with an XLR input, and you can get it in white too. Check which one you're buying before you actually hit buy. Thanks for watching.